This is the Platinum Podcast.
So welcome to the Platinum Podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
My absolute pleasure. So first and foremost, please introduce yourself and tell people what it is that you do.
Okay, so my name's Lauren. I am a fitness instructor, personal trainer. I've been a personal trainer for around 4 or 5 years. Basically, what happened when lockdown came about, end of March 2020, I was doing really well in my business. I was fully booked with personal training clients. All of my classes were fully booked. I had workshops running. I was helping hundreds of people a week. And as soon as lockdown came along, I just didn't want to stop helping people. So we all thought that lockdown was going to last around 2 or 3 weeks. So I was like, right, what I'll do is I'll run live workouts for nothing, just to get people moving, just to keep my clients busy. Ended up going live every single morning at 10 a.m. and still doing it now. But what happened in lockdown is we built a massive community. So people would come to these workouts and they would literally feel better. And it was, for some people, it was the only social part of their day. It was the only time they got to interact with other adults. So it became amazing. And every morning the numbers would grow, like the views would grow and the word would spread. And so just built a massive online community. And then off the back of that, then that's how I built my business, which is an online fitness community.
I love it. I love the essence of community building, and that's essentially what we do here at Platinum. And COVID really fast-tracked that for people. It really highlighted to people how important that side of their lives are. What do you think? What was the gap you were really filling there for people?
To be honest, when I first started doing it, I genuinely wasn't doing it from a business standpoint. I just wanted to keep working. I didn't want to my clients to lose their fitness goals. I just wanted to everybody moving. And it was only because lockdown had gone on so long, and I thought, because I'm not even joking, I didn't take a single day off. I didn't take a single day off. I think my first day off was in August. So I went live every single morning at 10 a.m. from the end of March up until August. So, and it was only because I spoke to people, and then I decided to build my business through that. And obviously, lockdown wasn't ending. So the standpoint just generally comes from helping people. Like, I love helping people. There's no better feeling for me than when somebody messages me or whatever it is and tells me how much my workouts have helped their day or saved their day. And I've just kind of become addicted to that. So it just so happens that I was able to build a business off something that I love doing.
It's not a bad addiction. Spreading fulfillment
Could be worse.
is definitely not the worst addiction that's out there. Yeah, I think that really comes across in everything that you do. And there's something very noticeable when a business, its essence is there to create money, which is fine. I'm not demonizing that in any way. It's great to make money, right? But you can always tell when the essence of the business actually comes from a place of providing value. So how is it for you now working in this business? Now things are starting to go out of lockdown. How's that translating into normal life?
Yeah, it's a strange one because for a while I wasn't sure what way to go about it. So I wasn't sure because I wasn't sure whether to go to gyms or to work with people one-to-one again, or to stick with my online business. I wasn't sure whether to be consistent in just one thing. But I think now I'm finding my right path. So there are a lot of women who will never want to go to a gym, and they only want to do home workouts, and that's for a number of reasons. That's because they have small children at home, they have partners that don't want them in a gym, they don't have the time because they have really busy jobs and they have to sort of use the catch-up aspect of the workout. So there will always be that online part, but I am now going back to the gym and I'm meeting people, and I'm kind of doing a bit of both now, which is so good because, you know, every day when I'm doing a workout on my own in my kitchen, I don't know how I do it sometimes, but I create an atmosphere. So I've made like little party lights in my kitchen. So I've got to do a different playlist every day just to keep people motivated and keep people smiling. So so now moving forward with lockdown easing and everything, I'm just kind of doing a bit of both.
How does the business work exactly? Can you give me a little run through? Because I love the fact that you've created this in lockdown. It's always a beautiful story when it comes from like the most chaotic times, and then you create something as beautiful as you have with your business. What does it look like in its entirety? What do you offer people?
Okay, so now I have a private Instagram account, which is where I go live every day for workouts. So the beauty of a live workout is that we all pop up in the morning and everybody can comment underneath the workout. So say today we did Full Body Friday, everybody joins and you can see like Susan's joined, Bethan's joined, you can see all the names popping up. Everybody says good morning. If somebody says I'm not feeling very motivated today, all the other girls will say come on, you can do this, and support each other. So and then, you know, we go through the workout, but I'm really, really interactive. So I want people to constantly give me feedback. So I'm always looking in the comments to see what people are saying. And even if I'm in the middle of doing, I don't know, a kettlebell swing and I can see somebody say something, I'm like still trying to interact with all of the girls, which is hard work. But that's what I love about it. But then another aspect of the business is that not everybody can tune into a live workout because of commitment. So these live workouts are then saved to IGTV in a library of workouts. I put like a label on the front of them so you can see which workout it is on the front. And then you can catch up on that workout whenever you want. Some of my girls really, really like a certain workout, so they save it and they go back to that one all the time. So you have the live aspect, you have the catch-up aspect. We also have a WhatsApp group now, which is absolutely mental. You can imagine hundreds of women constantly. They were, do you have Love Island over there? They've been watching Love Island. So I said, you're going to have to make a separate Love Island group now because it was literally taking over the whole group. But yeah, it's just community, and that's what it is, bringing women together. It's beautiful.
I think you're providing something really special there, because like the community is huge. I mean, that's what we do at Platinum. It's a similar thing. Totally get that end of it. And then you're also combining what is huge, especially during lockdown, is moving your fucking body.
Exactly.
It is so important. If I don't move my body on a regular basis, I'm chronically depressed. I mean, I've even got a black eye now. I mean, I have to train. I have to do something, whether it's jiu-jitsu, boxing, whether it's just getting in the gym. My body doesn't move. I feel absolutely terrible. What's it like for the women of part of your community? What were they experiencing before you came along?
I think so. Obviously, it was lockdown at one point, so people were experiencing kind of cabin fever. Nobody was leaving the house because, if you remember, we were kind of scared to leave the house. So even I remember I stayed in, I didn't leave my house at one point for 3 weeks. I literally didn't. So you think, how do you get exercise in? But I would get my exercise in every day just through being in my kitchen. So for one, it was that, getting people moving in a time where you couldn't leave your house. But then off the back of that, we kind of set challenges sometimes. So we'll, this week we're doing 12,000 steps a day. So at the end of the day, everybody has to tag me in their story and show me on their watch that they've done their 12,000 steps. And we did lots of challenges like that throughout the lockdown. We had like a leaderboard. But yeah, moving your body is so important. And you know, I don't do this for a aesthetic point of view, although I do. that's not why I do it. I do it because fitness helps your mind so much, as much as your body even. And when you feel, and when you're in certain times like lockdown or whatever it is, moving your body, getting endorphins pumping, interacting with other people is just so helpful. And you know, through lockdown I had so many messages of so many different women. They were telling me how the workouts have helped them in so many different ways. There's so many different ways that it helps. But yeah, it's so good for the mind.
I believe that. Well, I know it. There's
Yeah.
literally no other way for me. Just there is no other option.
No.
What was the main issue that you find women were overcoming by coming to your classes?
I hope you guys are enjoying this episode of the Platinum Podcast, brought to you by Platinum University, the real life school of mindset, online business, and financial independence. Platinum University teaches you everything conventional education didn't. We're helping thousands of people create multiple passive income streams that create more money, time, and freedom. We literally guide you through every step of the process with the help of our in-house experts and our powerful, like-minded community groups. To get 35% off your monthly subscription and permanently lock in the discounted price of $39.99, and also get access to all of our mindset, Forex, dropshipping, stocks, crypto, network marketing, and Airbnb content, visit the link in the description to join.
I think it was loneliness. I think that was the main thing. It was loneliness because, like I said, I was lonely. I had no other adult communication. You know, I remember a time where my mum wouldn't even come to my door, so I had no other adult communication. So, and so many other women were the same, or some women were at home in a not a very nice environment, so this was their only escape. Some women were at home just with their children that were kind of stressing them out because they had cabin fever. So it was like an escape. It was like every morning, well, it still is now, but more in lockdown when everything was heightened. It was like every morning you could just tune in, and that was your escape from all the rubbish that was going on in the world. You could just laugh and have fun and move your body. So yeah, it was just an escape from the stressful times that it was, really.
Yeah, I'm really interested to dig into like the consequences from your point of view of these lockdowns, because I've been lucky enough. I've been in Bali the whole time this has been going on in the UK, so I managed to escape all that bullshit. But
Yeah.
I couldn't help but look at it from a psychological standpoint. I mean, you're losing all of the things that keep you sane, essentially. You're losing social interaction, so you're feeling lonely. There's the element of fear and stress because people are panicking about what's going on. You're losing the ability to move your body, essentially. Well, in the absence of you, of course, but gyms are closed and the only things that are open are fucking McDonald's and different takeaways. So you're literally left with all these terrible life choices in a time where you're going to feel depressed, and then you're probably going to start turning into your usual vices, right? So what do you think the implications were of these lockdowns for people?
There were so many implications. And that was one of the main reasons why I set my workout to exactly the same time every single day, because I don't know about you, Joe, but I thrive off routine. I'm so, if you look at anything on my schedules, everything has to be at a certain time every day. So I've just got that routine. And when I'm in a routine and I know exactly what's coming next, I can really get into the flow of things. And when we had lockdown, you know, nobody was getting up to go to work. Nobody was getting up to do the school run. So there was just that one thing that they knew that was happening on that time of day. And, you know, apart from EastEnders or something like that, which I don't think EastEnders was even showing at the time, was it? Because that was not filming. So it was a routine, and it was something to get up and live for, just one thing.
If I was getting up and living for EastEnders, I'd end it now.
No, I just mean routine, like something at a certain time of day. But then I remembered that wasn't even showing at one point.
And that's when you know times are hard. If EastEnders,
exactly.
If I can see Peggy Mitchell at 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, I'm done. I've had enough.
Exactly.
Well, at least we've got Love Island now.
Oh,
I have no questions. Alan, Scott's my expert on Love Island. Have you got anything you'd like to contribute about Love Island, Scott? You little giddy pleasure. Shit, but are you still watching it? Still watching it. Okay, cool.
It's only like day 3, I think, but a Welsh guy went in last night, I noticed.
Can you tell Scott what happens and ruin it for him so he doesn't have to watch it? Scott, what happens? Come on, just let us know.
I just know they threw a bombshell in and it was a Welsh guy. That's all I know, really. Because I was actually falling asleep whilst I was watching it last night. I go to bed too early.
Yeah, I'm the same as you. They all give me shit because I'm in bed. I'm asleep by 10. Anytime they try and book a call in at half 10, I'm like, no, that's not a possibility. I need to be up at 6. We can't be doing that.
Yeah, you're the same then. Routine. It's all about your routine.
I'm fucking 31. I feel about fucking 60.
No, it's good for you. It's good to be up early, isn't it?
Yeah, I saw your Instagram. I was having a little scroll through, just having a little nosy, see what's going on. I saw you boxing. You can throw some hands, I've got to say.
Yeah, well, I'm learning. This is my 3rd week in one-to-one training. So take it back. I take a class called Funky Pump, which is like a boxing-based class, which is not real boxing, but it's just like boxercise sort of thing. So people put their gloves on, they work against a boxing bag. So, and then I just thought I want to perfect something and I just want to do something for myself. So I'm so I train every single day, but I train exactly what I planned out to train. So I just thought I want somebody to tell me what to do. And it's my 3rd week in and I'm absolutely loving it. I just want to be amazing at it really straight away, but I need to be patient. But I'm really enjoying it and I can't wait to be good at it.
I was actually quite impressed. I thought that was actually decent. If that's week 3, I think you're going to be all right. Yeah,
you watch this space, Joe. In about 6 weeks, I'm going to be the best.
I'll be keeping an eye out for that. For sure. Jeez. So what kind of training do you do? Because you mentioned before that it's not really for aesthetics anymore. Obviously, it's a part of it, but that's very similar to my journey. I went through the stage of wanting to get big and like just wanting to look good and all the rest of it. And that's not been a thing for me for a very, very long time. For now, it's always about, I want to acquire skills. I want to be able to do cool stuff with my body. I want to be able to be good at martial arts, be good at calisthenics. And I want to feel on point and I want my brain to fire. Those are the most important things to me. So I'm curious, like what kind of training that you do?
So I was quite the same. Before lockdown, I was in university studying strength and conditioning. So most of my training was heavy weights, so lifting heavy weights. Completely changed then because of lockdown, and I've been like reading things and picking up certain things. And because I work with so many women, and I notice a lot of women speak badly about themselves. So they'll say, oh, I need to do this because I ate this, and I need to do this and this because I look like this. And what I've learned is when you do something from a bad standpoint, so if you're training because you don't like yourself or you're training because you ate too much, then it's a negative. So what I do now is I try and tell them, you train and you exercise because you love your body. You're doing this because you're celebrating what your body can do. And when you just flip that sort of mindset, everything changes and everything clicks. Like so I'm constantly talking to my girls, and if I ever see them say, oh, I look like this or I look like that, because some women have one of my ladies, she's just had a baby and she said something, and I said, you need to appreciate what your body has just done. Like, that is an amazing thing. You've just brought a child into this world, and it takes 9 months to grow a baby, so it's going to take you 9 months to get back into shape. And as soon as you do anything off a positive standpoint, it's just going to work so much better. So yeah, that's what I try and teach my girls now, to do everything from a place of love rather than from a place of hate. And I think it's working.
I can agree. From a mindset standpoint, that's something that I work with my clients. But you're not motivated by what you don't want. You're motivated by what you do want. And so many
Yeah.
people have a tendency to go into a space of, oh, just moving away from something rather than towards what they actually want. And just flipping that has a really, really powerful impact on people. I'm also curious, because most of your work's with women, is it just women that you train, or do you train everyone?
So my online business is for women. You know, with my boxing classes, there men come in the gym, but I just thought, I know for a fact that men wouldn't want to train with me. So I just thought, from a business standpoint, if I just zone in on this, because years ago when I made the name and everything, I just thought, lately everything's about empowering women and women becoming stronger. And there's, you know, because years ago it would be women would have to be skinny and everything, but it's not like that now. It's more about women being stronger and empowered. And so I kind of zoned in on that. I have no issues with training with men, but my online business is all about women. And I just think it's easier, because then when we're in these locked lives with comments, we can kind of relax and say what we need, you know, because there are certain things that women wouldn't want to say around men, and men are exactly the same, vice versa. So yeah, it's no, you know, I've got no issues with training with men, but from a business standpoint, no, I know.
I wasn't implying that you
From
were
a business standpoint, it works so much better.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I'm curious so I've been doing a lot of men's work recently. And a lot of that is really taking a long, hard look at what masculinity is represented as in everyday society. And it's also about taking a real look at that and seeing how that impacts women in society as well.
Yeah.
What would you say is, this might be quite a deep question, but what would you say is are some of the major reasons for women getting into the gym, and as a result of men's behavior?
For me personally, if I go back to a point where I was really, really weak and I felt like I wasn't good enough, for me, going to the gym, training helped me get stronger mentally. And that was it. So I would set myself little goals. Then when I would achieve them, I would become that little bit stronger, and I believe in myself that little bit more. And so every time, so yeah, it just makes you, training makes you mentally stronger as well as physically stronger.
It's more about what the behavior of men and how that impacts women, and how that then impacts them when it comes to training and their particular goals when it comes to training.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, because I don't pay any attention to what men think. Like I used to, but I don't anymore. And because I'm training on my own with nobody around me, and all of my, well, like probably 5% of my following is male, all the rest is female, I can't even comment, because I really couldn't care less.
I suppose what I'm interested in is you kind of alluded to the feelings of unworthiness. And now I feel like this isn't just something that women go through. It's a big reason why men go to the gym. I feel like there's a big culture of unworthiness that is kind of perpetuated in the aesthetic driven gym community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm very curious as to how men and women influence each other in this space and how we make it worse. So from the perspective where it's the types of behaviors that men have and how they speak to women and how they behave with women, how that then impacts people such as your clients, for example. Opinions and perspective on aesthetics, on general kind of ideas of how human bodies should be.
Yeah.
From that kind of angle is what interests me, because I feel like the reason why I'm interested in that is because you said that you're working with so many women that are, they're new mothers, for example, they're stay-at-home mums, they've been in lockdown, they're just normal women that are aspiring to be a certain way. And I'm curious as to how men impact that, or the opinions of men impact that.
So I think some men will say to women, you shouldn't be lifting this because it'll make you look too manly. Like I've heard men say you shouldn't be doing upper body weight because it'll make you look too manly. So a lot of women are afraid to do anything upper body wise.
You're in quite a privileged space, but I suppose because all of your women are actually in quite an empowered circle. I suppose it's more so what you said there kind of resonates, because I remember when I was a personal trainer many, many years ago now, but I remember women wouldn't lift weights because they were of the impression that they would turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger within 2 days. And I like to think that's not the case anymore, because obviously with the blowing up of Instagram and girls that lift some serious weight as well, I like to think that kind of perception's been changed a little bit now.
Yeah, I think there was a certain, but I think it's completely changed now. But I only know from my standpoint, I can't speak from a man's standpoint. And like I said, because, you know, I've been in my house and not around other men for like nearly 2 years now. So I feel like I can't really speak about what men have an impact on, because I wouldn't know, because I've literally not been around them.
And you don't give a fuck.
That's why, and I don't care anyway. Yeah. I do think that think that the stronger you get mentally, so the stronger I've become mentally, I can only speak from my point of view really, but most men don't come anywhere near me, and I think that's because I'm not speaking badly about men, but I'm just saying years ago when I was a little bit weaker, lots of men would try and speak to me and whatever, but now I think because people know that I will not take any messing whatsoever, and like unless you're going to be 100% clear about who you are, then I do think men find it a little bit intimidating. Most men do.
100%. Well, my girlfriend, I mean, if you take one look at her Instagram, you'll see why most men are intimidated by her. So she has a very, very similar, she's a certified witch. So she has like a similar dynamic, and this interests me as well, because what you're saying there is there's a kind of game that's played between predator and prey, almost like the insecure weaker man will prey on the more insecure weaker woman in that respect, and as soon as you get yourself to a certain point, they're no longer approaching that anymore. And what you're creating is really powerful, because you're helping women step into empowerment. That's your whole business, right? And you're then changing that dynamic, and I think that's really, really powerful. What do you think it is about training the body that has that impact on the psyche and the mind to take women into that, well, people into that space, but specifically women, because that's who you work with?
I think it is when you start training the body and you get into a routine and you start to feel better, you start to realize your own worth a little bit more. So every day, and you think, I'm going to exercise today, and you feel that little bit better, and then you get that little bit more confident, and you make a little promise to yourself, you keep it, and then you follow through with that promise, and then everything goes a little bit better. Like the smallest things it's like a big knock-on effect to anything in your life, and then you realize that you shouldn't be tolerating things like you were before, or you're so much more worthy of certain situations than you thought you were. And so it just has a huge knock-on effect. So it seems silly because it's just exercise, but it's not, because it's proven to yourself that you can get up and you can do something, and when you do, you look better, you feel better, you are better, you tolerate better, so everything improves, and it's just a huge knock-on effect. And it genuinely is, like, I know because I've done it myself.
Yeah, I could agree more. It's that little 1%, and it's providing credibility for yourself, I believe, isn't it? Is you're earning your own respect, because when you don't feel good enough and you don't feel worthy, you don't respect yourself, essentially. And I feel like it's when you do those small things, you win those small victories by doing something that's difficult, because training is difficult. We don't all want to get up at 6 a.m. and train. Like, it's a hard thing to do. And then by earning that little victory, we earn that little bit more credibility and that little bit more worthiness.
100%. And that's why I love to push myself out of my comfort zone, because I love to prove myself wrong. And, you know, if it's a certain exercise or something and I think I don't like it, I won't not do it again. I'll do it even more. I'll program it even more, because I think, why didn't I like that? Because it was difficult. And then I'm like, have a word, Lauren. So I'll make sure that I do it all the more, because you've got to do things that are difficult in order to grow. And, you know, I don't want to be comfortable, just sat around in the comfort zone. That's not what I want. I want so much more. And that's what I try to tell my girls. You need to come out of that comfort zone if you want more than just average.
Nobody wants that mediocre life, right? That's what I
Definitely
love
not me.
Definitely not me either. And that's what I love about that empowerment space. There's similarities in our businesses. It's all about empowerment. It's about showing people there is a different way, and you don't have to just be a victim of your own reality. And there's different ways to achieve that. And I think it's completely, I won't say impossible, but I truly believe that putting your body through pain, albeit in a healthy way, is the quickest route to building that credibility with yourself. Would you agree with that?
100%. 100%. You know, whatever it is, and even it's painful situations that you've been through, like every painful situation that I've been through, not just in the body, in the mind, I've learned to look at that in a positive aspect, and I'm grateful for every single painful thing that I've been through, every loss I've taken, everything. Because if I look back now, everything bad that happened to me, after that bad thing happened, I became so much better. And every single time I learned, and yeah, I just keep going. And when you look at things like that, it's become so much better, because your mindset is of, you're grateful for even the bad things.
Yeah, it's literally the way it is. Once you see that, it's impossible to unsee that. There's a book that I'm reading right now called Letting Go by David Hawkins, I believe. And the whole process is about letting go, and it's coming to terms with absolutely everything that goes on in your life, no matter whether you perceive it to be good, whether you perceive it to be bad. All of these things, the only element of suffering that you really have in any instance is purely down to your own perception of that reality. And as soon as you're able to shift your perception of that reality and let it go, essentially, because all the meaning that we assign to things comes from a space of old stories and things that happened in the past that we've decided dictate the future. And we attach these meanings to everything. And we literally have the ability to completely turn everything on its head and just go, that doesn't mean what I thought it means. It doesn't have to be eternal suffering.
Exactly. I remember when certain things would happen years ago, when I was of a weaker mindset, and I would read, why did this happen to me? And why me? And I don't deserve this. I'm a nice person. And bad things happen to good people every single day. And you can't just sit around and feel sorry for yourself. That's just life. That's just the way that it is. You need to pick yourself up, look at the lesson in everything, learn from it and grow, because people or whatever's throwing you these lessons so that you can learn them. And if you don't learn the first time, it'll keep coming back until you do. So you just need to, that's the way I think of everything now. So even days I'm like, I'm having such a bad day, and I'll even silly things, and I think, what's the lesson in that? Even really silly things, you know, but that's the way my mindset is. And so sometimes I'm so different now. I just think nothing can stop me, because even if a bad thing happens, I'll learn from it and I'll get even better. So when you have that mindset, you're completely unstoppable, really, aren't you?
Yeah, for sure. When you've got that credibility with yourself, it puts you in a space of, whatever happens, I can deal with this. And that's an unshakable different type of confidence, in my opinion. You can get confidence by being competent at things, for sure. Like in a particular field, you might be good at football, and then you feel confident on a football pitch, but you could be bad at public speaking and not be okay with that. But if you can get to a space where you know you can get yourself out of any situation, you know you can thrive, and you know that you can learn, that type of confidence just translates across every area of your life.
Yeah, 100%. And that's another thing. Learning is, you know, I like to put myself in situations or around people that are better than me and know much more than me, because I want to learn. Like, you'll see me around certain people and I'm just listening and watching, because I loved, like, when I was in university and my lecturers, I'd just literally be in awe of them, because I don't want to be the smartest person or the cleverest person or the strongest person in the room. I'd rather be in a room of amazing people and just suck up a little bit of that amazingness every time, because that's how you learn and that's how you grow.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And I think there's two really important things that are needed there. You need to be humble, because I think it's very easy. This is something a lesson I had to learn in my own journey. I think every young man goes through it at a certain point. They think they know it all and they think they've got the whole world sussed out. And that is the biggest barrier to learning ever, because you think that you know it all. That's the worst thing. So you need to be humble. That was something that was really big for me. And also being open-minded. I also, when I thought I knew it all, I was someone that was different to me, because I think on my way is the only way. Anyone that's different to me is wrong, essentially. And then you start to categorize everybody. I love that you take that humble approach. Was this just a way that you always were, or was this a kind of realization that you came to?
I think it's just the way that I've always been, and it's just through experiences. Yeah, it's just through be going through things and realizing that everybody's human. And I found that the more yourself you are around people like you more. If you're going to put on a front and you're going to act like somebody you're not, that front is going to flop at some point and people are going to see you for who you really are. So especially in business, anything that even if it's a caption or it's a workout or whatever it is, it comes from me. And when it comes from a place of yourself and you can't go wrong, because if people don't like it, fair enough, they don't like it, but it's coming from you and it's authentic, and people like authentic. So yeah, definitely.
How do you encourage, okay, I don't want to say your women, I don't know how would I call them, your clients, your community?
I know, I call them all sorts, my girls, my members, my team.
I don't know what to call them. Your women, your powerful, empowered women. How do you encourage them to be more authentic? Because I find that's something people really struggle with, is having the courage to show up as themselves. And obviously this is something you do on a daily basis. How do you encourage them to do the same?
But mainly by turning up as myself every day and saying, and for instance, if I do something wrong, I'll say I do. Like, example, I always in a workout count the wrong reps, and I say, listen, I'm no Carol Vorderman, I get it wrong sometimes, because I'll be going 8, 6, because sometimes I get carried away, but I think that's just me, that's just the way that I am. And now they laugh and they're like, oh, she's off, she can't count properly. And yeah, I just own every mistake I make. I own it, and I'm so open and honest. And so hopefully that, and I think it does, because when I first met people to what they are now, I can see them change. Like my members, the people who I work with, I can see them slowly starting to be themselves. And it's because I'm so unapologetically myself that they realize that it's fine to be themselves. So like I said, when I make mistakes, I hold my hands up and I just say I've messed up there, or whatever it is, and whatever it is, I'm just open and honest.
What is it about PT and not being out of count? This was like a big issue that I had when back in the day. Every single time I'd be with a client, I'd be 1, 2, 7, and I just couldn't. Every single time. Is it like a number? Is it like a number literacy thing? What the hell is it? Is it just all PTs? I don't know what the crack is.
In my defense, when I'm doing a live workout, so I've got a whiteboard there, my workout's planned out. I've got a playlist, but Instagram doesn't like certain music, so I've got to constantly be aware of that Instagram might kick me out because of certain music. I've got to keep an eye on the comments. Sometimes if a really good song comes on, I just want to dance and I get distracted. So that's why I lose count a lot of the time.
You summed it up for me. I was losing count because I actually didn't want to be there and it wasn't really the job for me. That's what it was.
There we go.
I was losing concentration, and
yeah, you're probably just drifting off into a dream.
I was.
And then you were like, oh, there I am.
I got into PTing for all the wrong reasons back in the day. So yeah, no doubt. I wanted to, at the time, I'll frame it correctly. I'm 31 now. I was only 21 at the time. I wanted to pick up girls and I wanted to train all day. That was my main motivations. Oh, and I wanted to have a slightly more legitimate income on paper. There's no point lying about that. So PT,
it's a baby step, isn't it? So from being a PT, it got you slowly to where you are, because I was a PT first of all, but I just realized that I much prefer group environments, so lots of people where you can create an atmosphere, because like you said, being a PT when you're going 10, 9, it's boring. It is boring. And some people don't even speak, so it's just mind-numbing. So that's why I love working with groups of people, because you can really get the most out of everybody, and other people could encourage other people, and it's just so much more fun than just one-on-one.
I couldn't agree more. I'd love for you to tell people where they can find you, because I love what you're doing. I think it's hugely important. I think what you're doing is far more than just a fitness group or a community. Just from this conversation, I can tell that your mindset is rubbing off onto these women and helping empower them in ways that they absolutely need. And I think the world needs more people like you doing this, creating these communities and just showing people a different flavor and just showing a more positive outlook in so many different ways. So please tell people where they can find you and how they can join some of your workouts.
Thank you so much, Joe. So I am on Instagram, Empowered Women Fitness. My website is www.empoweredwomenfitness.co.uk. And I'm on Instagram every single day. So if you want to find me, just fire through on the DMs. And if I can help you, I will.
Beautiful. And I want to see you slapping pads. I want to keep seeing that.
You will. It's going to get better and better each week.
I believe that. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Joe.
This is the Platinum Podcast.